So one of my clients reached out to me and told me he wanted seats for their dressers, and he wants them to come with a storage space. I started out by cutting my naked MDF board into the desired size, and marked out the curved edges with the use of an old grinder blade. Next, I moved it to my bandsaw to have the shapes cut into patterns. Here I placed it on my bandsaw and carefully cut out the curves, which will serve as the basis for my design. You can also use a jigsaw for this cut. I only used the bandsaw because it's stronger and I wanted it to be at an angle. But for more intricate cuts, I would advise you use a jigsaw. Afterwards, I used my extractor to suck up the dust and keep my machine clean. Here I marked out the storage space and have it cut out with the use of a jigsaw. Nicely done. Sucked it up again with the use of my extractor to keep my workshop dust free. Next, after all the measurements and cutting, it's time to assemble my build. Here I used the brad nailer to nail it into form. A brad nailer is a pneumatic nail gun which uses air compression, and I bet you wouldn't want to use it for anything else other than nailing. Okay, here I reinforced it with a couple of some 2-inch screws all around the edges to hold it firmly together. And this has to be evenly distributed all around the edges for durability. And of course it will be carrying human weight, so you get the point. Now, if you've watched this video up to this point, I would want to urge you to like, follow and subscribe to my page, and most especially share this video for educational purpose. I got inspired by watching these types of videos, and today I'm a professional woodworker with a handful of people learning from me, either for a hobby or as a profession. So I urge you all to please share this video. You just might be helping someone to make the right decision. After that's been said, it's time to get back to our build. For the skeletal frames to be complete, we have to attach all the sides together and carefully hold it in place with both brad nails and screws. Here is how the skeletal frames look like after assemblage. And now we are still left with some openings around the curved edges of the frame. And with the skeletal frames properly assembled, with all the curved edges as well as the top covered, it's now ready for foaming. For the foam to properly stick to the frame, I applied evostick gum across the area on the foam which will stick to the frame, and carefully placed it on it thereafter. Here you'd want to use the right foam density, say 25 to 30 foam density thereabout, to keep it puffy even after the fabric has come on it. So I gently tapped it and used the knife to cut it into place. Next, I cut a straight line across all the sides of the build, where I can attach the gold strip after placing my fabric, a process I'll show you shortly. Here I properly marked out and cut the fabric and proceeded to the upholstery phase of the build. Here is a pretty interesting but a very delicate part of the whole process, the finishing. Aside functionality, the total process boils down to this. With the use of a brad stapler, I pinned down the fabric into place in accordance with the intended design. A brad stapler is also a pneumatic nail gun which uses staple pins to hold materials in place. After the padding has been neatly done, I now fix the gold strip like I told you earlier, along the side that was cut out for it. Here I stapled one end of the gold strip to the build. I now stapled and cut out the excess at the end as required. And this process was done on all the sides of the build and on all the builds to give it a luxury finish. Next, I attached a padded piece of board with stud at the bottom to serve as the base, and placed the padded top on the build, which will serve as the opening as well as the seat. And here's how they all came out in their different colors, different fabrics and sizes. Truly a proud moment for any creator. And if you want to see how I padded the inside, you would need to watch the next video. And finally, at this point, I would want to appreciate you for watching this video. Like, follow, subscribe and share. My name is Mark. Watch out for next video. Thank you.